So we have seen how to test the application with multiple sets of data without using parameterization. Now, in this video, we'll be using parameterization. So let's try using QTP parameterization. So there are different ways of doing parameterization in QTP. For now, we'll start with learning the basic way of doing it. The basic way is from the QR view. The keyword view down at the bottom on the left side, and we have expert view. Expert view is the code view. So right now we're in the expert view. We will explore parameterization in both the expert view later on, but for now let's begin with the basics using the keyword view. It's good to know both. So from keyword view, if we want to use a parameterization, we can basically, as you can see, in keyword view, you have a total different view, and there are no quotes. There is no code, there are no quotes for making changes, all you see is a user interface. You see some icons and different things. So all of these icons represent your codes, actually. So from the keyword view, as you can see, the systemutil.run, whatever we recorded, we have the same thing in keyword view. In expert view, we have it in code format, and in keyword view, we have those in icon format, is a good way to say icon format, or a better user interface. So as you can see, let me double click on this. So from here, let's find at what point we have inserted or entered some text into the email and password field. So from here, if I double click on search, from the right hand side, if I double click, then I will see some more drop downs, some sub options that come up. Then if I double click on the welcome to Facebook, which is the Facebook welcome page, now I can see the email and the password, right? If you don't find this email and password, just keep double clicking on this stuff on the right hand side, and at some point you will find this email and password. There's no set rule for where it is and how it'll be recorded when you record it. So as you can see, this email and this password. So under the Facebook, so we learned that by reading our code, we learned that now we are learning how to read our script from the keyword view in QTP, which is actually the basic view of QTP, keyword view. So you can see the email, the password, and as you can see the value. You can see the email value is part1@yahoo.com. Password is 123456. So these are the only two input data that we are using. Parameterization is all about parameterizing this input data. So to be able to do that, we can basically click on the value of email, and on the right hand side you will see this configure the value option. So you can see this sign in here, this hash sign within this button. If you click on that, you'll have two options, constant and parameter. Constant and parameter. Right now it is constant because we are using one set of value, part1@yahoo.com. So this is the value for the application, right? So let's click on parameter and click on OK. Now let's do the same for the password field. Click on the hash sign, click on parameter, and when I click on parameter, as you can see, it is showing that the data table this is the name of the table, or this is the name of the column of the table. So this is where QTP will store my input data. So I'll show you exactly what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say. So click on OK, just like you did for the email. Now, on the value section, we have data table for both email and password. So now it doesn't say constant, it says data table. And as you can see on the bottom, QTP, well, if you click on view and you click on data table, you'll see the QTP data table on the bottom. So this is a QTP data table on the bottom, you can see here. Switch it up. So if you click on the data table and you drag it up on the top, you'll see the data table. Now, as you can see, you have one column got generated in QTP data table, and that column is called ptext. And the value of ptext is part1@yahoo.com. So that means that QTP is storing my input value into this table, into this data table. And now I can use as many different values as I can add into this data table. So I can add as many as I want in order to use multiple sets of data to test a certain functionality of an application. So as you can see, on the right-hand side, if you want a better explanation, on the right-hand side you will see the value of email is enter the value of ptext data table column. So it's telling you that whatever value that you enter into this column for ptext column, whatever value you enter here in this row, in all of these rows, it will read those values and it will put those values in email. And the same thing for password. So we could see that we have the same column, the same QTP database for both password and email. So whatever password we use, it'll use the same for email and password. So let's change this so that for email, again, click on this hash sign, and let's name this value so that we can recognize. Let's name it as email, or parameterize email. Let's click on OK. So as you can see, it just created another column called parameterized email. And now let's do the same thing for password. So click on the hash sign and on the parameter. Instead of saying yes, and instead of saying OK on it, let's change it to, or rename the column name to parameterized password. So now we have two new columns that got generated. One is parameterized email, one is parameterized password. Now at this point, whatever values we put here, it will take those values and it will put those values into the email box of login and the password box of the login ID. So in the next video, let's start using multiple sets of data and value.